The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and The Tech Insider, David White.
And good afternoon, all those fans of the Power Trading Hour that meet with us each day at the headquarters of Technical Trading and Investing, TFNN.com. Another gorgeous day down in Florida. It's been kind of cool. Warmed up a little bit today, and you knew that it was a good day because what did I see coming across the causeway? The cops were out with their cruisers giving tickets. It's always a beautiful day when they do that. They don't pick bad days, so you always know when it's a nice day to be watching out for the po-po, as they say out there. And anyway, we're seeing a move up slightly, 0.3% on what would you say, mediocre volume, less than 2.5 billion shares as we start the day, as we hit, again, new highs, went to 1551, sold off, been kind of moving around somewhat meandering here today. No real follow-through. It is Friday. The question is, what is this market giving any signal? And I really can't find one yet. I suspect we'll get one before the weekend. We're going to see something going on here, but right now I can't see anything. And if you're long, probably stay long. If you're short, you probably would stay short. I can't see anything that would change my mind one way or the other. At least today I'm in some stocks that we are short in the newsletter. And we are finding some of these stocks actually drifting off today, and kind of interesting. So anyway, we'll be talking about movers out here today, but just a little bit of news going on. And probably the biggest thing out here today as far as stocks moving was Pandora. The CEO did resign last night. It is a music streaming service that loses money. The thought is that the CEO leaving opens up the door for it to be bought out. It is a money loser. It popped almost 20% earlier today. I'll get a current quote for it if we can. And what is that? Get 1401, yeah, 19.44% at 1401. Let's get a chart of that out here for Pandora. One of these stocks that did jump the creek out here. Let's get a little longer time frame of this thing. It gapped down, made a nice little W out here. It has huge volume up here at the top. Maybe a little overdone out here. I suspect that the meeting with Apple kind of caused a lot more of this than just the CEO leaving. The speculation is right. I actually covered some of the things going on with Apple and streaming music today in the Tech Insider. So I'm probably, there's a lot of, there's a graph at least in there of what's going on. So I'll leave you to read the Tech Insider today. But I don't suspect that there's a great deal here, more than speculation. The question is whether Apple would go off and buy a streaming media company. And that's probably speculation out here. I think that Apple has bigger problems, and basically went through them today in the newsletter. But CEO's been with them for 10 years. Long road down here. He's probably going to cash out. He'll be happy, be rich, sitting on his boat somewhere. But pretty much we are up at these highs. Interestingly enough, it's not holding those highs. It did get back into this gap that has been out there for a little while. So not a whole lot new here, or a lot to yell about. The energy was up a little bit better. And I guess the idea is that Apple's streaming music service is not coming out anytime soon, or maybe not at all. So a couple of factors that I think the news is not actually putting in today. Mark Cuban will have to go to court, and fairly soon. Let's see, I'm trying to remember what it was. case was filed in 2008, but I think it happened in 2005. Mark Cuban sold his 6% of a company called Momo. I don't know if people remember this, but kind of just dumped his shares and pocketed an extra $750,000 by doing it a couple of days before very bad news came out for Mama.com's chief executive. And the question is whether he knew anything. Of course, he's a rather famous guy out here. This has been dragging on for 5 years already. And, of course, almost, 8 years since it actually happened. So the question is just what kind of case they have if they've not been able to push this forward. But I don't know. Not a lot to know whether or not there's anything to this case. Well, what can you say? Mark Cuban, kind of a acerbic guy, but mostly famous for cashing out before the curtain fell on everybody in several companies out there. And, of course, as the owner of a basketball team in Texas. I always thought it was San Antonio, but I guess it's Dallas. But I don't watch basketball, so who knows? All I know is probably just say something to get me in trouble. Anyway, it's going to be a busy summer out here for the SEC. They've already got a few Goldman Sachs executives facing charges that will be adjudicated this summer, and a lot of the mortgage-backed securities stuff that was related to the abacus, if you remember all that. So a lot of legal stuff coming out here. Wanted to look at a few stocks that were moving on news today. Broadvision, boy, talk about a stock that looks like a heartbeat every once in a while. But this is a nice pattern, so if you're looking for nice consolidation patterns, ideally you'd like to have more volume than this in Broadvision, BVSN. So probably not something you could trade, but certainly the kind of stock pattern that you want to be looking for. Maybe albeit exaggerated out here today. Let's see if I can get the headlines here. But what you want to see is a move off of very low volume, which you got that spiked up to the September 20th high. And you had nice volume out here. Good chance of this thing getting retested out here. This thing went sideways, since that September high, and you had lower and lower and lower volume. But a good consolidation pattern out here is just this. And I call this the Lazarus pattern when it's only a few days, but this is really kind of a bigger playing possum pattern, which is not just a couple of days, but like 20 days, extremely narrow trading ranges. You know somebody's either accumulating it or they're selling it. And normally, if it's such light volume, the stock continues to move nowhere. It is normally accumulation, and you had that breakout today. But if you want to look at one that is very nice, that's it. Now, I wouldn't probably have bought this one because of the extreme low volume. Just no way to get in or out of this thing. And one of the reasons it popped fairly strongly today, and did actually have some volume finally. Oracle, some kind of Oracle deal with Spark, cluster edge status. What can you say? Not much out here other than that. So we'll see what. One of the ones that has interested me most today is Eagle Dry Bulk Shipping. This thing did come down and hit a low on December 20th. Really to get into this thing, you'd like that low to be retested at $1.32. But these bulk shippers like Eagle, some of these actually moving today when a market is actually feeling rather flat. You got some little bit of volume up here, but still need this thing to go down and test $1.32. Let's look at DRYS, see if we can find anything out here. Pretty much the same thing. You've got a lower low, you've got a little bit of volume coming out, and you're at the support line. You'd still love this thing to come out and test $1.46 to put that low in, and probably a good idea that we're going to find some kind of low back in at those levels. So I'll just check real quick here as we're going through here. Yeah, just meandering, just up 4 points on the S&P cash now. Very light volume over the last, I don't know, hour and 15 minutes. 2.5 billion shares, so what we've done, maybe 40 million in the last, since I started talking here in 10 minutes. Nothing to really write about. Again, you can give me a call, as always, at 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648. We'll discuss your stock. Kind of a very interesting reaction to the job numbers this morning. I suspected that we were going to have a pullback to 1525 on job numbers that were slightly less than 200,000. We had 240,000, and what it did was it was enough to spook early people out of the market, thinking that it is now going to be sooner rather than later that the Fed chairman takes us off our IV drip of morphine, and put a very big damper out here. A lot of people are thinking, well, there's several scenarios that could happen. One, the numbers could be an aberration, which they certainly could be. Certainly, a lot of people are falling off their 99 weeks of unemployment. Those people are no longer being counted. So that goes into the lower unemployment number simply because they've quit, not because they've gotten a job. We still have, 89 million and change unemployed that are not part of that bigger number, or that are part of that bigger number that are not being counted. So just a little less than a third of America does not have a job. Some of those people don't want it. Some of them can't find it. And some of the numbers today may be skewed. A lot of people cut their hours, or their hours were cut. And a lot of people that worked at restaurants ended up dropping from 40 hours as full-time employees to employees at multiple locations, and down to 30 and 25 hours. So actually, they're working a few more hours, but working at two different places so as to avoid Obamacare taxes. And that's going to be very interesting how that comes out. Trying to think if there was anything else. We've got GMS Resources, another one of these that's making a lot of noise down here at these lows. GMXR is the symbol on that one. And, you had a huge move out here on the 1st of March, kind of testing that on a lighter volume out here today and pulling back. But a lot of these penny stocks getting kind of froggy. James River Coal, another one out here that had been at some lows, kind of banging around these lows. A little pop up here. Just one of these stocks that... as long as we have a administration that is pretty much against coal, we're going to continue to see these stocks suffer. Maybe just a small bounce in a downtrend out here. Certainly looks like $1.66 is certainly possible for the next test, but it's going to be a minute.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces. And over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're going to go through some of the other movers out here that are not moving so well. One of them is AVG. Let me turn this on. Of course, they are makers of protection software for PCs. Had a higher test of the high from December 21st, where they only had 330,000 shares. Actually missed the high by, 8 cents, but got into with higher volume out here and rolled right over. Kind of an interesting, very choppy market for a lot of these stocks. But what we saw out here today was news, and it is coming back and filling a high volume gap up. So we'll probably find some support out here at the $14 range. AVG is the symbol AVG. Volume is picking up, but probably not enough out here. Not a huge mover out here, but might make 10 or 15% trading range out of this into that $16 range. Baidu, been kind of keeping track on this. I have not wanted to ban any Chinese company right now. In fact, I'm going to say right now that we've had a downgrade of the Italian debt today, and I suspect that we might be in for a downgrade of our debt this weekend. There's a few reasons why that is, but I think that after tonight we might have the opportunity to see the downgrade that everybody talked about. And it'd be interesting to see what happens on Monday, the reaction to that. We are not having a lot of movement in the market out here. Again, volume maybe another 20 million shares since the last break, and just very quiet out here. It's probably going to be the close that gives us any kind of idea what this market really wants to do with these higher highs on a much lighter volume. Baidu, of course, I've been talking about these Chinese companies. They're still an issue. In fact, if I was an American company, I'd be screaming at the top of my lungs, trying to get my stock price up, on the fact that these guys are not releasing clear and accurate books. Baidu is in that one that, QIHU 360, another one. In fact, basically all the Chinese stocks are you've got the confidence in the books of a over-the-counter stock. There's just not a lot you can put hang your hat on in those, because of course you don't have the full books that most auditors would have to basically say it. And nothing's happened with these companies so far, but I would be rattling the cage. Anyway, Baidu certainly looks to me like it's going to come down and test the low of $85.96. Just one of the few stocks out here actually in the NASDAQ 100 that are truly moving. 8.1 million shares that day. Maybe we're going to get some kind of resolution out of that. Certainly is back at a support range in that support level. But you've got 85.96. I'd certainly like it to pierce that on that lighter volume. Actually not a bad looking stock out here, and fairly at least close enough to that support level that would say that maybe you'd get some good news out of China and them finally giving it. Gold had a huge reaction to the numbers and the dollar move today. And we saw Randgold Resources continue its down move today, picking up a little bit of volume and filling a gap. That gap that came on high volume was of 1.6 million shares on, June 1st of 2012. Not a huge gap out there, but one of the few gaps to actually survive. A lot of gaps on the downside from gold, Randgold Resources down here. Still looks like it could hit that $72.91 low out here. Of course, we did have gold move down very strongly, and on the issue of hitting these lower lows out here, not a lot of volume yet, but kind of interesting to see that gold could not actually close at the lows out here. In fact, let me see if I have an update now. Nope, still no update on gold closing price. Normally I have it here, at least for the pit traded gold. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. And give me a ring. Garmin, another one that is got a small move out here. This, of course, gap down on huge earnings disappointment. It's kind of coming back up to that, but it's pretty far. We had a customer out here that had called in, or a listener, I guess. He had been talking about McDonald's. One of these stocks that I don't like being short in a pullback. Just for this reason, we'll cover it when we come back.
Just recently, on December 28th, Market Insight subscribers were advised to go long the QQQ, the NASDAQ 100 ETF, on December 28th at $63.91, and only 2 trading days later, after a huge jump in the market, Market Insight subscribers were advised to sell the QQQ at $66.64 for a $2.73 or 4.27% profit to start off 2013. At the same time, Tom O'Brien had advised his clients looking for a more leveraged trade that they could have initiated a position in the QLD, the ProShares Ultra QQQ ETF, and over the same 2 trading days, Market Insights subscribers were able to lock in a $4.48 profit or an 8.47% gain in just 1 trade. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during your free trial and pay nothing. Don't miss out on the next great trading opportunity in 2013. Act today. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
We're going to continue on. Kind of a quiet market out here. We're going to look at a few stocks actually that are moving. We were talking about McDonald's came out with earnings today. A nice little pop out here. Looks like it's headed back up to 102. And, you know, I think we had a customer that, or a caller that came in that shorted this thing somewhere around the 1st of February. Hopefully he got out of this thing. One thing you don't like to be, or I don't like to be, if you're betting on a pullback, is a huge consumer stock that applies to the people as they have less and less money. Dollar stores, McDonald's, Burger King, those kind of things. Decent earnings out here today. Pop on light volume. This is not very strong for a gap. Probably going to get filled back here. I think it's just little shorts getting out of this stock, but not a lot to report. You know, maybe more horse meat in the McDonald's out here. One that was probably not a surprise, we've had callers on Skull Candy. They wanted to know what I thought of this company. And I think this probably was right after the first of the year. They called in about what the possibility was on this, thinking that maybe it would be like a Beats like Dr. Dre. And I said, well, that's basically the problem with this stock, is it doesn't have the kind of conspicuous consumption going on in the ethnic community to drive these kind of products. If you're not a big-time rapper with Dr. Dre headphones on or something, that's it. But, of course, he gives them all away, diamond encrusted, stuff like that, and he gets all the people to look at them. And, of course, they all think that they have to be cool, so they all buy them. This is certainly not this kind of company. It's kind of... the idea was they're going to put a bunch of scary stuff on the outside of their little headphones like I wear here. And suddenly that was going to mean everybody was going to get them. One of the worst performing IPOs of the last year. They were, $14 on October 5th. When did they actually come out? See if I can get, just make sure I don't have anything longer. Yeah, you know what, midsummer last year, June 22nd, July 22nd, yeah. July 22nd of 2011. Oh, they've been out longer than I thought. I just never understood why this company went public other than to grab a bunch of cash. I suspect that they will be on the pink sheets in the not-too-distant future. Monstrous volume out here today, and yet a much lower low out here. The class of 2011 and 2012 IPOs has been rather poor. I'd say 97% of them have underperformed the market. The only one that did real good, of course, was LK LinkedIn. Was it LKND? If I can remember it. LK LinkedIn. Huh? LNKD? If I could learn to type on this keyboard, it'd be a lot easier. My Microsoft Natural keyboard is a little tougher. Of course, this thing did pop back up here when the market popped, but it continues to be the biggest mover out here in the marketplace. If you held through the pop up from 140 to 160, you probably had some nice movement in it. Basically doubled that, but went sideways for a number of days. Really never did pull back. This market's getting very thin at the highs out here. So see if there's anything else we can be looking at here today, because continues to see very light volume and not a lot of stocks out of a particular trading range. What do we have out here? Pretty much what we're looking at, seeing if any of my stocks are actually moving on any volume. And no, they aren't. In fact, just about everything is not moving on volume. S&P up a little bit, but not enough to actually give any definitive signals out here. Let's look at Google, because I haven't talked about it for a while. A lot of people are talking now on the talking head shows about whether or not Google has topped out. This thing really looks like it wants to come back and test this gap between about 700 and, what is that? Low on that is what? Close 702. Yeah, okay. 702 to 740 and 738. That gap's out there on high volume. It has not come back and tested that gap. If you wanted to buy Google, that's really what you need to do, is have it come back in probably that 720, 715 range on lighter volume. Not a bad looking chart out here. They continue to be one of the best performing stocks in the marketplace, mostly because they're very transparent. It's very easy to figure out how they make money, and they've done a better job of moving to mobile, where they get less money per search, but been able to at least capture some of that business. When we continue to look at companies like Facebook, what is it Face? Oh, it's FB. There is a Face. FB. We've had Facebook. It's come up off the bottom. Is it doing anything now? Not really. it's when you look at Google, you're paying about 15 times forward earnings. I'd almost want to look this thing up, but I think you're probably looking at 80 or 60 times forward earnings on Facebook. I would suggest this thing is probably an $8 stock without them finding some kind of magic bullet. Yesterday they came out and pushed this whole thing about a new news cycle page. I don't use Facebook, so it was no big deal to me. They've come out with a few new things that are supposed to be courting investors and making people think the stock will go back up, but they've been real yawners. The first was that graph search about a month ago. Yesterday it was all about this new news feed cycle. Just doesn't seem to do anything to get this stock moving out here. The one thing would be is an earnings call where they actually figured out how to make money out of mobile. That still seems to be the weak part of what they're doing out here. IBM is pretty much pushing the highs out here again and on a very light volume. The stock over the last few days has been the majority or a big mover out here in the Dow. A lot of these stocks just not really doing a whole lot, but certainly IBM is. But you are coming up against this high, and the original one was the April 3rd high, 2010, $210.69, 4 million shares. Came into it, pulled back fairly severely on October 5th. We are and have gone over it today on lighter volume, filled the last gap down. This one, probably I'd be ringing the register if you were in this thing, and I mean toot sweet. I just don't see a whole lot when you really look at the volume over the last 14 days. There's just not a lot there. We've got a caller, and we're going to go to him, and it is Kent in California. How are you doing today, Kent?
Good, David. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay. What are you trying to look at here today?
Right now, I'm actually short on the pound yen.
Okay. And unfortunately, I don't do a lot of dollar trades out here, and I don't even have that chart or able to get that chart up here. There are a lot of other people here at TFNN that do that. What's your question on it?
Well, I'm currently short, and it looks like it's been bouncing up. So I was wondering, looking at the daily chart on the pound yen currency pair, it looks like it's still in both the 50-day moving average. So it looks like it's still in a downtrend, but I'm kind of worried now because it looks like it's bouncing up.
I would suspect that we've got some movement in this market. Mostly it's created by the dollar. I don't know exactly the interrelationships between those two. But I'm just going to tell you that I'm going to pass on that. It's I don't spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time looking at the dollar index.
Okay.
And, to me, it certainly looks we're going much higher on that. But okay. I don't trade a lot of currency pairs out there.
Okay, thanks anyway, but maybe you could take a look at this small stock for me that I'm interested in, and it's called OPK.
OPK. How small is it?
It was I got in at $2.40.
Okay, and what's it going to take you to sell this thing?
Probably some volume. I should take half off here, but I wanted to see what your opinion is on it on the charts.
I mean, if you're in this thing at $2, man, I probably, the technical, you probably would have sold on this retest on 225 that had this little hammer candle. You're getting kind of a little fallout here. I don't see. I mean, if it goes up, the volume's horrible on this thing. I just, if it were me, I'd sell it all. I'd sell it all now. I'd never look back.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, can you get a little bit more? Yes. But I'll go back and tell the story of the 140-year-old woman. And that is, okay, if you've got a woman that's in a major first-tier country in the world today, she's going to live somewhere between right around 78 years old on average. If she makes it to 78 years old, she's probably going to make it to 90. If something hasn't killed her off by then, So her expectation is actually a little longer than you would think. But by each time you go up a couple of years, the expectation goes down. At the at the time that a woman's 140 years old, you could make a huge bet that she's 140 years old in a minute, and you'd probably be right. And that's the problem, is you're getting into getting very, very close to the end. I don't like that you've got 4 dojis in a row here. And that's probably why I would sell it. You've got 4 dojis, 4 lower volume days for the last 4 up days. And everything says that you've got a 200% winner out of here. Ring the register, wait for this thing to pull back. You could probably get it back maybe in the $6 range. There's if you wanted to try playing it again, there's a what is that? The day of the 20. It's actually the day of the 28th of January. Mm-hmm. If you could get this thing back at that 640, if you wanted to buy it back then, you would consider that. But that's that. Okay. I think you're probably going to be in that range right there, about 630, 640, and you could look at buying it again. But I'd probably take all the money, and I would not look back.
Okay, David. Well, okay. I appreciate your advice, and thanks again for taking my call. Have a great weekend, and I love your show. Good
enough. Thanks again for the call. And again, you can be like Kent. In fact, be like Kent's going to be my new motto. Give me a call, 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. Watching this volume in this market creep along, this is getting rather ridiculous out here. We're watching grass grow, 2.7 billion shares now. And kind of bouncing around up here at 5 points on the S&P cash now. Not a lot of movement in GLD or any of these others. Kind of interesting out here that we're having so many light volume moves in this marketplace. But what can you say? It's going to be a very interesting move out here before the end of the day. So what else do we have going on here? I wanted to look at a few other stocks. JDSU, Uniphase, had broken out a little while ago, and we were talking about it actually closing back in its trading range. Nice little pop out here today that takes it back into that high actually the last 2 days. It is retesting the previous high of the February 15th. And you had basically 5.2 million shares yesterday, almost 10 million shares, 4 million shares today. So you still haven't broken that previous high out here at 1563, but probably going to be a very interesting move on Monday on whether or not you can break out that 1563 with volume. You actually also have a February 17th high at 9.3 million at 1517, and that's probably the one you'd want to use. The higher volume to be on the conservative side of this one. But we have a lot of stocks up here pushing these highs. We're going to go to Max in Houston. And how are you doing today, Max?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you, David. I was the one that that had McDonald's and I got rid of.
Oh, okay, cool.
When I called you a while back. So what I've noticed is a lot of these stocks have, done an about phase, and they're all moving higher, breaking highs, like the home builders, but a lot of them were just covered with dojis.
Yeah.
And, my question is, I'm kind of frustrated because I thought the market would just, kind of like would go down or give us a signal, but can this low volume environment go on for months, years, I guess, potentially?
Normally about 30 days. You normally find this. For me, I don't have a problem. A lot of times being short will take you several times to get right. And you want to hang on through the break?
Well, I can if you want to. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk, finish this up in the last segment. But being short is not as easy as you would think. And we'll tell you why when we come back.
Are
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of tfnn.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to tfnn.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of tfnn.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at tfnn.com.
As we come back, we're talking to Max in Houston, and we're talking about being short, which is, I think, a bigger issue out here. And I can't remember the name of the individual big hedge fund guy, but Apple was like, I don't know, $650 or something. He stood up in this giant presentation and he said, I want to see the hands of all you fund managers out here that do not own Apple. And there was like 200 people in the room, and not one hand went up. And he said, I don't know when it's going to be, but Apple's going to blow up. you've got to have at least somebody else wanting to buy it. And I think you're right on this thing. Now, he did this at 650. Apple went to 704 eventually. But the problem I have is everybody is all over these housing homes. And when everybody's talking about it, that's pretty much it. There was a stock that I was long and was pretty much sure had hit a bubble because the president brought it up in a speech. When you get the president talking about it, it's also an issue. So the thing is, you've got to have patience. The market is normally going up, albeit at a much smaller pace, about 3/4 of the time. It's going down about 1/4 of the time. So that it is much harder to be short than it is long, just because in any kind of time frame, you're probably going to have a market that rapidly sells off. But I don't see how the charts of housing stocks look a whole lot different than 3D Systems did. You know, you end up with these huge moves. Everybody's in it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody tells you why they want to be in it. And normally you get a nice blow off top. You get a 6 months consolidation, and then maybe it's time to go back. So how long are you out on? Do you have puts, or you just short the equity?
Yeah, I have puts. But, you know, so it's a small percentage. It's just I thought they would continue downward. And so I'm barely in the money now. But they don't expire till like August. I think you got plenty of time.
The problem that most people have in being short, and me too, is that what you're doing is waiting for the straw that breaks the camel's back. So each day you put on another straw, you put on another straw, you put on another straw, and then all of a sudden the market just unloads. And, you know, is it going to be a debt downgrade this weekend that does it? Is it going to be some other news? How many people would have thought that 9/11, you know, the day before, how many people were betting on a huge move down? The market is weak, and what you do when you are short is try to find the weakest stocks, not the strongest stocks to short.
I understand.
And I think, did we bring this up before?
Yeah, I need to learn that.
You want to look at stocks that are that are setting up fairly weak, and of course you want to normally see that they failed and they've come back up on very light volume. And you know, I sit here going through a lot of these stocks that have gapped down on huge volume that are coming back up on very light volume, and these are the ones you want to sit on. If you want to see a really good chart, and I don't have enough time to finish it up today.
That's fine.
But look at the chart of Apollo going sideways for a very long time. Was it in 2012? I think it's 2012. It made like 3 highs on lighter volume and then rolled over. I was actually short there. Maybe I have to go back a few more years. But there's a good example of that. I'll try to highlight it and show it on the show on Monday. But if you want to see a very good stock that fails, goes sideways, goes into distribution, and then fails again, Apollo or Coco, both of those stocks are great to look on the charts to see how those stocks have long-term down movements. Anyway, you have a great day, Max. You all have a great weekend. I'll be in the second hour of the Tom O'Brien Show, and we'll be talking a lot of stuff. So catch us then, and see you on Monday, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Same bat channel, same bat time.